Morning, guys. It's your boy Sydney here, and it is a Friday morning here in Sydney. I'm just glimpsing at the sun through a bunch of palm trees. It's a beautiful day. And you know, look, guys, I've got new topics for you guys every day. I've sometimes even got multiple topics a day. I did 3 videos yesterday. But today I thought that it was time to hand over the reins to you guys. I actually wanted to field some comments from all you men in the box. Get some comments from you men, and then I can give my thoughts on things. And I'd love if you could hit me up with some really thought-provoking questions, because I do like thought-provoking questions, and I like controversial questions where I can really delve deep, and really get to the crux of things. And it doesn't even have to be MGTOW related. Even if you just want advice on a situation you're currently handling and you don't know quite how to go about it, love to get some questions from you. But for now, I just wanted to reflect on what it is that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I'm able to reach so many men and help so many guys. I'm grateful that I'm alive, that I'm relatively healthy. There's a lot that I have to be grateful for, and there's a lot that I have to be appreciative for. And I think a lot of the time we don't quite necessarily realize how lucky many of us are. Even us who have been through through a really bad divorce rape, right? Still got another 6 years left in child support to see your kids. It's like, well, okay, in 6 years you'll be free. I know that's a long time, but you'll still be free. Like, there's an end to it, like there's actually an end to what you're going through. Like there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, it's far away, but there's light. Some people don't get light. Some people lose both their legs in a car accident that wasn't their fault. Some people yearn for a family their whole lives, but they're infertile and they can't, and nobody will adopt them. Some people are tortured their whole life. There's things that suck in our lives from time to time, but there's also a lot that I think we have to be grateful for. The fact that we actually are fortunate enough to be in a country, wherever you are, where you have an internet connection, where you can listen to the opinions of people like me, where you can actually express your views without fear of persecution. That's lucky. Some countries don't have that. And I really like you guys to think, especially if you are in any way stuck in a mindset where you're thinking, well, my life sucks, or if you're stuck in a mindset where maybe you really want to change things about your life, but you feel like you can't. It's like, okay, well, what is it that's stopping you from doing that? And if there is actually something that's stopping you from doing that, what can you do to overcome that barrier? And if there's a barrier to you overcoming that barrier, what can you do to overcome the barrier that's preventing you from overcoming the barrier that stops you from doing what it is that you want to do? Just reverse engineer things. That was a tight corner. Love it. I've been looking for that corner for a very long time because it bypasses the traffic lights, and I won't forget next time. I'll be ready for it. Sub Riff Magos, Family Stone, NYC Korean barbecue kettle chips. And guys, now that I've got a couple of you on the box, Riff Magos, I know you've always got some pretty thought-provoking stuff. I'd like to actually field some questions from you guys about anything, really. Something that you'd like my insight on, whether it be work, whether it be friendships, whether it be political education, whether it be finances, whether it be anything. I'd love to get your thoughts on that. And for those of you who live in Western Sydney, I'm actually going to show you a little coffee shop I'm about to go into that I think you guys will really like. This place is cool. I very rarely go here, but today got a little bit of extra time on my hands because I got up nice and early. Oh, Kenshiro, you just gave me a good question. Say this place is called Parks Coffee House. It's really nice. Give me a second, guys. I just got to order. Morning, how you doing? Can I grab a large latte, please? Regular milk, not soy. And what do you got that I can quickly grab on the go? I'll grab a bit of that. Is that caramel slice there?
That's the
On this side?
this side is the peanut slice. I think you ran out of the caramel.
What's the other side?
This one?
Yeah.
I think that's peanut slice. Carla, what's this? I think that's lemon. That's lemon slice. Oh, yeah. And this is peanut, yeah? Yeah.
So, give me some of the lemon slice and I'll grab a latte as well.
Lemon slice?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
No worries. What's that, sorry? Yeah. Lemon, please. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Let's chill outside. Alright guys, coffee is on the way. Riff Magos, I knew you'd like that one. That was intentional. Okay, so I'm going to address these questions one by one. So first of all, Ken says, are you happy that Instagram thought got 8 years, or do you think she deserves more? Look, you know, there's a few different sides to it. And the judge actually put it quite aptly when he said that, or he or she, or whoever it was that was the judge, made commentary that it's a sad indictment on society that people are actually so desperate for validation that, that they'll actually go and do things like that. I think that there's a big problem with narcissism, to be honest. There's a huge problem with entitlement, and this is largely in part to, in my belief, systems of government which enable particular bodies to spread misinformation, that enable particular bodies to allow people to play the victim and get away with it, and not only that, but actually be incentivized by it. I mean, look, this girl's getting enabled by society to, have the freedom of choice to, have a sugar daddy without being shamed for it, right? It's enabling her to get her face all over the paper. You've got all this advertising with like all the pouty collagen lips. Society's like, oh babe, your lips look amazing. Facebook's giving her, Twitter, Instagram giving her all this constant flow of validation. If you ever check out Chris Cantu's video called "Women Married the Smartphone," it's a very, very apt, detailed video on what exactly has gone wrong with women and the smartphone and social media. So, look, the problem is the broader society. If the broader society wasn't so accepting of, people just bastardizing their body with plastic surgery, if it wasn't so accepting of people using their vagina for money, if it wasn't so accepting of, all of this, what's the word for it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's not debauchery, it's not derogatory, it's, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I mean, it's, the society's just going down the toilet with the combination of all these things. So I would have liked to see her get more with non-parole, but not because I think she actually realized what she was doing was so wrong, but because it will set a very firm precedent and set an example for other people. and make people realize they can't fuck around with this shit. So Riff Mago says, I've been thinking of the shaming tactic used on MGTOW. You're MGTOW because you're afraid of dating women. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Have a great day. So the MGTOW, the shaming lines, right? I'm going to address that too. Well, look, the shaming largely comes from the fact that women can't possibly understand why men go MGTOW because they're wired differently, right? And they also don't fall victim to the same things that we fall victim to in terms of, you know, the negative outcomes of female relationships because, well, they're not in relationships with females. They cannot possibly get it. They cannot possibly understand exactly what it is that we go through as men in dating and relationships. They just don't get it. It's not something that's ever going to be a likely possibility that they will understand it on a broader scale until they have a penis and not a vagina. And even then they'll be transgender, so they'll be because of their inherent nature, they'll fall straight into the whole victimhood thing, right? They won't like a lot of trans women who go from male to female say, well, you know I'm a man biologically and I'm choosing to be a woman, but I'm also choosing not to be a victim. And I notice particularly as trans women who are biologically men get older, they do fall out of that sort of I guess collective thinking of, well, you know, it's so tough to be trans, you know. They're like, well, I made the choice and this is how it is. And they also get more comfortable in their own skin, which typically speaking results in them hang on, I'm just gonna take this corner and not spill my coffee. Rightio, dodge that bullet with that set of lights. So yeah, look, I think that the MGTOW shaming lines, they just don't understand. They cannot possibly understand why a guy would not want to date a woman. They can't possibly understand how much they cost because they've never had to pay that cost. They've never seen their friends have to pay that cost. They've never seen the impact, right? If they see a guy that's gone through hell, right, they're just like, oh, he's just depressed. Oh, he's just a loser. They don't get it. They're not wired the same way. They don't understand. So we can never expect them to stop shaming us when they don't get it. What we need to do is stop giving a shit about what they think about us. Because how are we going to actually go our own way, and not just go our own way in the sense of not caring what they think, but go our own way in the way of actually living our own life differently in a way that is beneficial to us as men, right? Because if we're constantly seeking the validation of women, then we're constantly going to be doing things for them and not for ourselves. So that's what I think. What other questions have we got here? Debate with some dude working coffee shop. Yeah. NYC Korean barbecue had a debate with some dude at the coffee shop and had to have his female co-worker fight his battles for him. Pretty standard, really. Family Stone says, so many women I meet are narcissistic, knowingly or unknowingly. It's scary as shit. And you know, this is what's happened. Women have married the smartphone. Societally, they don't actually understand how they've been impacted by social media. They don't understand how they have been impacted negatively by all of these things that are going on. A lot of them have never had to deal with it. And what happens when you've never got to deal with something like that? Well, they grow up mirroring their parents. They grow up following what their idols in the mainstream media do. Right? And we know what the mainstream media is like. The mainstream media is a joke. I'm not kidding, it's a joke. So, you know, I think narcissism it's growing as a result of the way that women are enabled in society to engage in the most toxic behaviors that can result from female psychology, and often do, particularly with all the catalysts that are out there at the moment in the current framework of the environment we're in. And I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. They just don't get it, do they? Exactly, Jimbo. What up, dude? Solitude, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Brizzy boy. G fuck yourself says one of the reasons not to date women, you do not know if they're a woman, if they're just pocket made out of a penis. What other questions do you got for me, guys? Because I'm oh man, the sun's crazy. It's alright, I'm safe. Can still see the road clearly, I just need to squint. Yeah, that's right, Riff. The cost of dating is enormous. Like, the cost of living is big enough, right? Like, I'm not kidding, guys. I need to take home just to make basic ends meet, just to pay my rent, to cover the expense of my car, to have it on the road, to be able to drive places with it, using petrol, using oil, using tires, you know, and other things on top of that, right? Just to make ends meet, I need to make around about $700 after tax per week in Sydney. That's no joke. Oh, Alan Atkinson just came up with a very, very, very good question. It's possibly the best question that I've had so far in this stream. Thank you so much for this, Alan Atkinson. So Alan's question was, it's one thing being MGTOW, but how to deal with the endless loneliness? Alan, I would really strongly suggest go and check out a video. Do a YouTube search for it. Search for Red Pill Isolation. Paul Elam, that's male spelled backwards. He's the guy who was interviewed in the Red Pill movie. And he's done 2 videos on Red Pill Isolation, and they are both fan-freaking-tastic. He just nailed it. Like, he absolutely nailed it. So that's one thing I would suggest. The other thing is I don't know if you are Australian-based or if you're American-based, Alan. If you are Australian-based, actually really strongly recommend checking out a place called the Men's Shed. Now, the Men's Shed is an organization in Australia where it was designed to help other guys. And I'm guessing from your, I mean, I don't know how old you are from your profile picture, but you know, they teach woodwork and they teach metalwork, and there's a lot of guys in there with a wealth of experience. You're probably going to come across some dudes older than you if you are a younger guy, but you know, these are the old gen guys. These are the guys that really understand what life's all about. It will help you a lot, I think. There's also places like Beyond Blue. I would suggest surround yourself with other men. So whether that be, you know, going to your local bowling alley and finding and asking them, you know, when's the next comp on and can I join your team, and you know, go and speak to other guys. Just be like, oh hey man, nice bowling ball, or you know, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm just new here, just wanted to come over and say hi. Just introduce yourself to other guys. Get yourself out of the house. It's very important. Get yourself out of the house. And you know, and do that. I think it's very, very important that you do that. And Alan, I think says the endless loneliness. I mean, I'm guessing that it's either going to be the loneliness from society or the loneliness from women. If it's loneliness from women, you know, go and get yourself a prostitute with a girlfriend experience. If it's loneliness from society, then you should do what I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, I said you should do it, but it's totally up to you. It's just some thoughts. And I'd really love you to try that, Alan. And if that doesn't work for you, send me an email to sydneymgtow@gmail.com. Let's work out a strategy for you. So I'll leave it at that for now because I don't want to ramble on for too long on that particular topic, because you can just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. But I think that's probably a pretty good start. And even if you don't want to go bowling, even if you don't want to do those things, find something else. Go-karting, find a hobby, find an activity, find somewhere that you can put your mind to work and, you know, get your hands active. You know, that's what you want to do. Family Stone, how do you feel about cutting off your homies because they're so symptom blue-pilled? Family Stone, that's a fantastic question. And it's something that I've gone through myself. And I wouldn't say that you necessarily need to cut them off. But what I would say is that it's very important to keep yourself in circles of people who understand you. Keep yourself in circles of people who get you. Also, keep people in your circle that will challenge your way of thinking, because you're not always going to be right. I'm not always going to be right. You're not always going to be right. Not everybody is always going to be right. In fact, nobody is always going to be right. No matter how right you are, there's always something you're wrong on, even if it's just like tiny. So that's something important to be aware of and be conscious of. But I mean, look, Family Stone, you're going to have friends that you can red pill, that will slowly start to get it. There will be friends that will stop talking to you because of your views. There will be friends that are completely blue pill, that just don't, they're just so misaligned with your way of thinking and living that it's almost impossible to have a conversation and enjoy it. But you know, just need to be accepting of the facts, Family Stone, that sometimes there are going to be points of time where you're going to lose those relationships. So just accept it in advance, and then when it happens, you can be like, okay, well, I was expecting this. But you know, wherever you lose people, there'll always be others to fill the void if you're a social person and if you want to have conversations. Man, see, Eric Wade and Riff Magos sharing resources on how to look after your guitars and keep a record of it all, especially if you've got a lot of them. You know, that's what men do. We share knowledge and share information. What else we got here? No worries. Saw your comment, Alan, saying thanks, man. I'm glad to help, brother. I'm glad to help. Anything you need. Mr. Man, good to see you, brother. He says, good to see, go to a store and look at married couples miserable and thank God I'm alone. I'm still happy about that email I got from Mr. Man. I won't go into it, but you know, it was wonderful to hear the positive progress and to hear that, you know, my words have helped. Eric Wade, yeah. No, cool. All good. Eric Wade says your married friends will ghost you the moment they find out you're getting divorced too. Yeah, probably, because all the wives don't want you hanging around single dudes. They don't want you hanging around single dudes. See for once one exactly. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish off with this. My lemon and coconut slice. Bit of a unnecessary indulgence, but fuck it. You know, it's Friday, and I've worked hard this week, so I deserve it. And I also got a full week of pay because I didn't have to take any days off last week because there was no public holidays, which is great. So just, you know, little indulgence for myself. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you all. It was great to see you all. It's good to see all you new guys as well. I'm getting new subscribers every day, and you know, I really hope that what I say in these videos helps you dudes. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you're watching my channel for the first time and you do have a Gmail account, unlike one of my guys that watches me and send me an email, hit the subscribe button down the bottom, hit the bell next to it so you get the daily notifications, go and donate to patreon.com/sydneymgtow or paypal.me/sydneymgtow if you want to help out with this channel, and you want to help with the letters that I'm going to be sending out to politicians, and I've started drafting to try and, you know, push back against this gynocracy. You know, all we can do is try. Also check out MGTOWmerch.com for some MGTOW merchandise. As I said in my stream last night, I will be putting some new stuff up very soon. You can also follow me on Instagram, Minds, or Twitter. And if you want to get a copy of Stand Up Men's book, which is $10 US with a money back guarantee, tells you all of the things you need to watch out for when you're engaging with women, and a lot of the ways to actually tactically offset any of the things that you might encounter that could be hurtful or harmful or a little bit dangerous for you, just in terms of potential negative outcomes that could result from those sort of interactions. All right, guys, it's great to see you all this morning. Thank you all for the wonderful comments. I really appreciate all of them. It was great to be able to share my thoughts on these things with you, and I might actually end up doing these more often. And I love you too, Mr. Man. Thank you so much, Sharif Magos. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Stravenstein. I'm gonna bounce, finish off this and this coffee with no soy in it, might I add, for those of you who caught the start of the video. Thank you to Video Toy Box. I'm out for now. Catch you later. See you tonight or tomorrow. Peace.